and then Eric gets sent home. I'm just like, what? That does not make any sense. Because what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be filming the Bachelorette, hold on, I got something in my eyelash, season 13 recap and reaction. I have a couple of disclaimers and things I want to say. These are all my opinions and you don't have to agree with anything that I say in this video. So yeah, I mean, I know people are probably gonna bash me in the comments. These are like my thoughts, you know? So yeah, and yeah, I mean, I didn't think the finale was that great, but you know what? Whatever. So yeah. Oh, and if you guys did not see the Bachelorette season finale, I highly recommend watching that before you go and watch this video, because I will be spoiling everything that went down in the finale. So without further ado, let's just get started. So yeah, so I'm not going to be recapping everything that happened in the episode. I'm just going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts on like the three guys and who she picked and blah blah blah. Kind of starts out, and you know, so just kind of starts out and it's like Chris Harrison comes out, and then he kind of just shares the news that Juan Pablo is married, which congrats, because he was crazy. I mean, he was just a crazy bachelor, so I'm happy that he's finally married. And then Chris Harrison also goes and talks about how this finale is going to be different from any other finale, because Rachel is also going to be kind of sitting with us watching the finale and kind of commentating everything that's going on. So I'm like, yes, because there were moments in the show I'm like, what does Rachel have to say about this? What does Rachel have to say? Flash forwards to Peter, and Peter just is still kind of confused and still talking about how he doesn't really want to get married and how him and Rachel still have a lot of things to go about and talk about. And then Rachel is like, okay, you know what? She was like debating. She was like, you know what? Maybe I should be sending Peter home. But then she's all like, no, you know what? Me and Peter still have, you know, things to talk about and blah, blah, blah. She should have sent Peter home right then and there. She should have sent Peter home the week before that, but I'm gonna get into that later on in this video. So then she gives him the fantasy suite card, of course. So yeah, she was also like, at that moment she was like crying and like really upset. So it was just like, what? So yeah, kind of goes to Brian, and then when she goes on the date to meet Brian, Brian notices that she's kind of like upset, like kind of distracted, because usually she's like really happy, really uplifted to see him, and then that moment she was just acting very weird, and you know, he noticed that or whatever. So you know, obviously she was really distracted from Peter. So you know, yeah, that's what happened. Like skipping around this video, so I'm gonna, you know, skip all of that. So I'm gonna go straight into the rose ceremony. Not wait to talk about it. So basically all these dates, all these garbage happen, whatever, and then the rose ceremony, you know, comes. And the first thing that she says, she's like, oh, you know what, guys, I'm not looking for a boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. She's specifically talking to Peter. She's like, no, I'm not looking for a boyfriend. I'm here for a proposal. I want to get married, blah, blah, blah. So then the first person she picks obviously is Brian, because she is so blinded by his fakeness and everything. Then she goes and picks Peter. And then Eric gets sent home. I'm just like, what? That does not make any sense. Peter said that he's not ready to get married to you. He's not sure if he wants to get married to you. I feel like that's like a sign that maybe he's not ready to be with you. So then you're just going to go ahead and pick him to stay. I'm just like, what? I was so mad. I was like, she should have sent Peter home that night. She should have sent Peter home weeks ago, because he was saying that for a couple weeks now. He's not ready to get married. He's not ready to get married. So why would you pick somebody that's not ready to get married? Why would you pick somebody to go home that is ready to get married to you? And I personally like Eric. He seems like he's playful, like he's funny, but he's real and everything. Peter, to me, I just do not like. He's like really dry and boring, and I'm just like, ugh. And not seem like he's interested in Rachel. I was like reading comments while I was watching the episode, and people were saying that Peter is very real. You know, they've only been together for what, like 2 months, and like you know, he wanted to, like, you know, after the show, he wanted to, like, continue dating and all that stuff. No, like, you know, like, he's just, like, I understand where Peter is coming from, because he obviously doesn't know Rachel like that, but, like, still, you know? So, yeah, I just am not a fan of Peter. So I was so mad at that point. I was like, what is this girl doing? Like, she's literally so blinded by Brian's fake love. Like, Brian is so fake, even Rachel's family can see that he's fake. Just, I feel it. I know that he's fake. I don't think it's gonna work out. I don't want to, like, say anything harsh, but I just don't think it's gonna work out. Then, my favorite part of this episode was, it wasn't really my favorite part, but I couldn't wait to see what Rachel had to say about it and what Eric had to say. So basically, like, Rachel and then, you know, Eric came out, whatever, you know, looking good and stuff, looking brand new. He kind of explains that he's no longer a boy, he's turned into a man. And then Chris Harrison even asked at one point, how did you feel going into this rose ceremony? Eric was like, I was confident. This was the most confident I've ever been in a rose ceremony. Because I knew that, you know, Peter is not even ready to get married, and I am, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, and he was he was shocked. I was like, exactly. And people were even using the race card, like, oh, you know, there was no black guys remain. What I have to say is that her sister is married to a white guy. All her friends are white, and there was no black guy remaining. Like, there was a Spanish guy and a white guy, but there was no black guy, you know, out of the last two guys. So, that just seems fishy to me. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to bring, like, the race card into this. Like, I don't want to bring, like, the race card into this, but you know what? I have to. Even, like, watch the show, like, people that I know, they were even saying there is no way she's gonna pick a black guy, you know? So, I don't know. That just seems very, very fishy to me. So I was very upset. I'm like, this girl is so blinded by Brian. Brian this, Brian that. Like, literally, I think from, like, the first couple of weeks, my mom even saw that he was, like, fake. Like, he was fake, you know? So, I hated that very, very much. A lot of parts in this episode, I did not care about the other crap. I didn't care about Brian and Peter. But I wish that it would have been Dean and Peter, maybe. No. I wish it would have been, like, maybe Dean and Brian left. Like, I don't know. I really like Eric. I really wish that she would have kept Eric. Like, I wish it would have been Eric and Dean. But I personally feel like the reason why she didn't pick Dean was because Dean was having issues with his father and his family. So I'm just thinking, you know what? She didn't want to pick him. So, yeah. But I forgot to mention that she did give Brian the fantasy suite card. So whatever, great. Whatever, we all knew that. But then I think Rachel goes in Peter's room to, like, talk to him, you know, and then they're kind of arguing, and then Peter was even like, you know what, I'll risk what I believe in to get married to you. And she was crying, and like, she was literally crying her eyelashes off. She was crying, and then she, like, put her head on Peter's chest, and, like, her eyelashes came off, and she was just, like, crying literally so much, like, because Peter kept saying he wasn't